Henshin Inspection presents Writer Tears. This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Prepare yourself for some biting Kamen Rider analysis. My grandmother said this: you have to be kind to be strong. Now, let's go writer chat. I certainly do not understand why Kamen Rider Gavv continues to be so good. Episode 10 was great. There was really nothing to dislike about it. I like the big surprise at the end. That was a nice treat. That was not a pun. It was just the truth. It was a nice treat. And I like the escalation that we're seeing. The bad guys are really bad. They are truly vile. Stomach Inc., not all Granutes. Hashtag not all Granutes are bad. But Stomach Inc. is disgusting. And they're absolutely vile. And they made this awful, awful villain who feels like some sort of... I mean, he's literally a child predator. He's literally preying on children. So, yeah, saying he's a child predator is kind of silly. But at the same time, you know, that's literally what he's doing. So, it's really nasty, really disgusting. I really like how bad they're making the bad guys. It's a good thing to make your bad guys bad. And I really love the sweetness of these two guys. This whole, like, it was funny. After the fight, there was this whole scene of Honto and Shoma, like, being concerned about each other and, like, trying to hide from each other who they are, but also thinking, oh no, did I accidentally kill the other guy? And Valen coming out and just saying, hey, I need these things in order to transform, and I don't quite trust the guy who did the surgery on me and who got them. Wow. Or he didn't say I don't trust him. He said I don't want to rely on him too much. Those are two different things. They're similar. They're probably rooted in the same concern that he has, that everybody has, that has been confirmed by the end of this episode. Sorry about the minor spoiler, but nothing's really been confirmed. It's just things are being very heavily hinted at. So anyway, do with that what you will. But yeah, I mean, it was another great episode. And yeah, I really cared about them beating this guy. I hated this villain. I was so happy when he got killed. And I really cared about Kirari, I think. I don't know her name, but I really cared about Valen, you know, saving her and then having that moment to, you know, reconnect with her at the end. It does feel a little bit weird that he's, you know, watching her dance and she's got dance moves or whatever, but, like, you know, they're not like Hoochie Mama dance moves. They're not, like, inappropriate. They're, I think, relatively age appropriate for that person, for her at that age. Like, I've never really watched, like, an idol dance except for the one that showed up in Blue. Is it Deep Blue? What's that movie by visionary filmmaker? Perfect Blue. Yeah. I've seen the idols dancing in Perfect Blue, and I guess I've seen the idols dancing a little bit in the Ultraman show based on the manga from Netflix. But, like, I don't know if, you know... I don't know if idol dancing is, like, you know, wildly inappropriate. Oh, also in, like, Glitter Force, they do the CGI idol dance things at the end of the show, and those are, you know, I think those are cute and fun and fun. And this was, like, more in that vein than, like, something, you know, inappropriate. But it did feel a little weird that you had this guy who's, like, literally preying on children and, like, you know, betraying their trust and whatever, and, like, luring them in with his sweets. And then you have this adult man hanging out with this little girl watching her dance. It's like, that's kind of weird. Like, if he was her dad, if he was her uncle, cousin maybe, like, maybe having that, but he's supposed to have no family. So that's part of the problem for Valen. But maybe they just should have had her not be a dancer. Maybe she could have been doing something else that she could have showed him. She had artwork that she was working on and wanted to show him because he's an art critiquer because his boss, Soji, I think, showed him how to paint or how to, you know, do stuff with the camera as a photographer, as a, you know, artist. We don't just take pictures of people doing things. We get really good compositions of people with our pictures, and, like, photography is an art, and let me take you around to art galleries. Anyway, I'm just saying it could have been different, but they did just do an artist recently. So anyway, whatever. It just felt a little weird. A little, like, are you guys paying attention to your own show that you're writing, that you're making? But, like, overall, it was really good. And, like, it was great, actually. Overall, it was great. But just, you know, little things. It felt a little weird. Felt a little bit weird. But also, this is a show for kids. And, like, kids like older people. Kids like teenagers. They want to impress them. They want to wow them. And, I don't know that a boy's going to enjoy watching a girl impress an adult or a teenager and then be like, oh, I wish I was doing that instead. But maybe there were boys in that class. Like, you know, the boy dancing is like a common thing. Like, you know, we got 2 guys dancing in our opening credits here for the show, so it's not a big deal. But again, what was great was the villainy being set up by like just showing the depth of the depravity of Stomach Inc. and their operators. And like, did that guy used to be human or not? I can't tell. The part-timers, are those people who've been surgically turned into monsters? And like, but the guy said, you're betraying us. He said that to Shoma. So I think he's a Granite who has been pressed into service. No, he's doing it on purpose because he wants to. I think he's a Granite who just wants to do this because he loves them. He loves those drugs, basically. And he wants to help make more drugs, even though they're made out of people. So anyway, strange, odd. I don't quite understand. Well, whatever. I'm going to leave that aside. But just like, if you look at what they're doing, it's awful. And like, we need our heroes to kill them all. At least Stomach Inc. Or like stop them somehow. I'm anti-genocide. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I get a chance to talk about the 2 worst shows I've ever seen. Drive and Gaim. I refuse to call them Kamen Rider Drive and Kamen Rider Gaim. Anyway, in Gaim, spoilers for Gaim and spoilers for Drive. Okay, get ready. Strap in! Now, I want to end this quickly because I think I've done a really good job talking about how good this episode was, and there isn't really much to say because it was just that good. CGI was fine. The giant gun was cool. I feel like that suit that he's got, the big gummy suit thing, came from X-Aid's Zero forms or level 0 or level 1 forms or whatever. And I think it's amazing and it's brilliant that turned into like the Muteki thing and like the, you know, God form for the dark guy or the dark X-Aid, whatever. I can't believe that crazy show that I was like, oh, I'm not going to watch this show. It's so stupid. It's dumb. And then I loved it. It's one of the best Kamen Rider shows ever. Yes, X8 is one of the best shows. It's true. I feel like they like put that suit in the closet and they're like, you know what? With this technology, we can make crazy, ridiculous forms for our riders. And here we have this guy, this giant gummy tank guy, which is insane. Anyway, and I can't believe that they're making me like this giant gummy tank guy. It's just shocking to me that I enjoy it so much because I do. It's an incredible suit and it's ridiculous and it's fun and it's zany, and I love the giant cannon, the war machine like shoulder mounted cannons. Fabulous. But anyway, getting back to why Gaim and Drive are trash. They totally violate the spirit of Kamen Rider. That's why they're trash. They totally violate the spirit of Kamen Rider. That's really all you need to do to be a bad Kamen Rider show is violate the spirit of Kamen Rider. But MJ, how are they? Gaim uses the power of evil. Yeah, I know he does. Drive uses the power of evil. Yeah, I know he does. But here's the thing. In Gaim, you have at the end of Gaim, again, this is spoilers for Gaim, you have the titular Kamen Rider, Gaim, Fruit Jesus, as they like to call him, send the bad guy, the snake guy, whatever the heck his name is, the stupid DJ, whatever. He has him tell him that he's the villain. He tells the hero, the villain of the show, tells the hero of the show, hey, I'm the villain. I caused all these problems. I gave you your powers. You're the strongest of all the fighters. Ugh, I can't even... Ugh, sorry. There's an old song. It's featured in Kamen Rider, all 10 Kamen Riders, or whatever it's called, Kamen Rider ZX. The greatest of all the fighters! Anyway, and saying that about that guy made me feel disgusted because I love Kamen Rider that much in a really weird way. And it's just like... Anyway, it'd be like if Shocker, the great leader in the last episode, they unmasked him and he was like... Blah, 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 right? And then... so there's the snakes coming off his head. Anyway, and then he was like, hey, I gave you your power and I made you strong and I made you able to copy, destroy all these things. And they were like... And Ichimonji and Hongo turned to each other and said, the great leader is right. He did give us all our powers, and he did make us so strong, and he helped us destroy all these things by giving us all these challenges. Let's let him leave. Let's just let him take off and do whatever the hell he wants to do and go to America and destroy it. Or wherever. Just go to another planet and destroy it. That's what happened at the end of Gaim. That is not a good Kamen Rider show. That is against the spirit of Kamen Rider. The Kamen Riders should have come back. The Double Riders should have come back and killed Gaim because he was evil. Because he was aiding and abetting evil. Something that a lot of Tokusatsu fans say they hate. Supporting powerful men who are in powerful positions where they can wield all this power to hurt people and do evil to them. They say they're against that, and then they like trash shows like Gaim. Or they like trash shows like Drive, where the hero characters actively engage in a genocide. Yes, Drive commits a genocide against these evil AI. The evil AI are only evil because Riku Sanjo wanted them to be. Riku Sanjo is actually, he's a very interesting writer. I think I feel about Riku Sanjo the way people feel about Toshiki Inoue. Actually, that's not true because I don't hate Riku Sanjo. I just don't like some of the story choices he makes, and people seem to hate Toshiki Inoue, who's one of my favorite Kamen Rider or Tokusatsu writers. Specifically Kamen Rider. I watched Half a Dawn Brothers and I loved it, but stuff happened and I stopped watching and I haven't had the strength to go back into it. Anyway, Riku Sanjo, for whatever reason, decided to make the Goddad guy from Kamen Rider Drive actively turn all of the AI that he created, all the Romutes, bad. The Romutes could be good. They're neutral. They have hearts. They have, fully functional morality systems or whatever. But he actively, towards the end of the show, well, before that, they end up putting a hit list, the Drive team, whatever they're called, Pit or Crew or... I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, they're like the weird D&B group. Anyway, they actively set up a board of like, we're going to eliminate all these Romutes. It's like, but they're not all evil. Why are you going to kill them all? Is this like a ACAB show or what is this? And they systematically kill them all. And then they don't, because again, Sanjo or Bandai or whatever, the creators behind the show didn't want it to happen where they could do like what they did in Kamen Rider Kiva, which was, spoilers for Kiva, find a peaceful resolution, find a way to coexist with the enemy race. Instead, they decided, we're just going to kill them all. The 108 Romutes or whatever it was, they systematically went through and they made sure they massacred all of them. And it was disgusting. And I thought, how is this okay? Like, if there was a way for them to coexist with an alien species or whatever, with this other, group of existences, these other, group of people, why wouldn't they try to find a way? And maybe that's why I liked 01 so much, because they took that idea and they said, oh, we've got these AI, we've got these robots, we've got these whatever, and then, can we find a way to live with them in peace? And the answer is yes, if you just try. If you just have imagination, like Kamen Rider Arc might say, you can actually make things work. Like, if you don't just make, like, I like the hardness or the edginess, the darkness of the original Kamen Rider. That opening scene in Shin Kamen Rider where he's massacring the chakra grunts, and when he's in the bathroom looking at the blood on his hands and just how monstrous he's become. I like that. I feel like there's a place for that. I feel like that belongs in Showa. One of the most beautiful things ever in Kamen Rider was when Emu got the Muteki form in in X-Aid, and he was able to rewrite the code of his enemies and stop them from being bad. And that was incredible. Anyway, I could rant and rant, but like, if the original Kamen Rider could save his fellow cyborgs, he would do it. Unfortunately, he can't, so he has to kill them. However, later iterations of Kamen Rider, when the writers, when the creative team, when the production behind it wants to make a genocide happen in the show, when they don't have to, or they want the hero to help the villain and let them go victimize other people, that's totally not Kamen Rider. And that's totally not what's going on here. I've lost my focus right now. I cannot remember this lady's name. Junko Kimura. Yes, Junko Kimura seems to get something that Butcher, or whatever his name was, the Butcher, Genorobuchi, and Riku Sanjo, I guess, forgot. Something that Genorobuchi didn't know, or something that Riku Sanjo forgot. And that was to, like, remember the core of what makes Kamen Rider, and then do it in an interesting, fun, creative way that really pushes the boundaries and sets things up, or like allows you to explore and manifest the reality of what Kamen Rider is, the spirit and the heart of Kamen Rider in these vastly different forms. For context, I have not seen Ryuki, so I cannot tell you how well Yasuko Kobayashi does with that show. I loved O's. I thought O's was fabulous. Don't understand why people like Ankh like him at all, let alone love him. But that's another story for another time. Yeah, that's not what's going on in this show. Kimura like understands Kamen Rider, and she's manifesting it in this crazy zany world, and she's making sure that the villains are evil villains, and the ones that need to be destroyed are being destroyed. And will there be redemption? Will there be some sort of salvation? Will there be some sort of reckoning for these people where they can like mend their ways and return to their what are they called? Granite Society, and like not be monsters anymore? It's possible. Like that, and I would be okay with that. There definitely does not need to be a Granite genocide, because the vast majority of Granites seem to be leaving people alone and not killing humans. But then you have these jokers doing this, and it's just, anyway, I don't know, whatever. Kimura's doing a great job. This is a great show. Yeah, and those other shows are not so great. And I don't know how Riku Sanjo wrote the first half of Gavv, the OVAs, the 88 or 92 or whatever it was, the ones released by ADV with with Steve Bloom and I cannot remember his name right now. Tom Charles in it. I don't know how he could have written those first 6 episodes of that show, which were fantastic, and set up like a really good story, and then also written Double, which I have quibbles with, but is a very, very good show. Also Futo PI, which is actually really good. Like, I like it in spite of my problems with Double, because they're directly there. And yeah, I don't know. He's done a lot of good work and a lot of great things over the years, but then he made Drive, and that just drives me absolutely bonkers. And it makes it worse. What adds insult to injury is that Drive is one of the best opening themes of any Kamen Rider ever. Anyway, tell me what you thought about Drive. Tell me what you thought about Gaiman Drive if you want to, but tell me what you thought about this episode of Gavv. I'd be curious to hear. Let's have a conversation about it all. I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. I invite you to comment, ask questions, and share your thoughts with me. It's always more fun when you're part of the conversation. Until next time, be well and do good things. Visit mjmunoz.com for more of my work and help me build up the Fortress Fiction.